Heya! My name is Sarah, and today's book review is on Contagion by Aaron Bowman. Oh my god. This book, oh my god. Now, for non-spoilers, I give this book a 4 out of 5 stars. This is a sci-fi book, a heart-pounding, time-racing, anxiety, high head-shaking sci-fi book. Oh my, that's basically how I felt going through this whole thing. Oh my god. So this book is actually split up into different point of views, the main characters, and a couple of side characters, which I really appreciated in this whole story. Our main characters' names are Thea, who's an intern, Nova, who's a pilot, and Cohen, who's a survivor of a crew that Nova and Thea's crew have to go do a search and rescue for. Now, as you can tell, this book is going to have, like, say, an infection or a virus or something because the title of the book is Contagion. Only problem is we're in space. Ugh, you can see I am not on board with these decisions whatsoever. This whole book is a whole scenario of me saying, we should not be doing that. Should we be doing something else? Why are we even here to begin with? All these bad choices and everything. So yeah, basically, not spoilers, Nova and Thea's team of like a small group of crew members who we were all part of a giant, what's it called, station on another planet in a different solar system and everything. They had to evacuate, but then they get a call saying, hey, we need you to check out this place, a place where hasn't been checked out in a very long time because of an accident. So yeah, we go to another galaxy called the Fringe, which is so far away. It's like, that's bad. And we get there and we find out that the crew also sent out an SOS, but when we get there, everyone is dead. And there's blood. And half of the bodies are missing. The best thing I could describe this book for non-spoilers, it's basically the Alien franchise for like the first half. But then when we get to the final half, it's like World War Z in space. That should catch a lot of people's attention. World War Z in space. Because that's what it was like for me in this whole book, in this, like, the last half. The first half was like aliens. Like, we started off at like Alien Covenant, and then we went to the first Alien. So again, 4 out of 5 stars, a heart-pounding, time-racing, anxiety high, head-shaking sci-fi book. Yeah, I'm just going to stick with that for this book. Oh boy. So yeah, Contagion by Aaron Bowman. I will suggest people check it out. Check it out. Spoilers. Okay, so let's go over the crew now, shall we? We have Nova, who is a pilot, a very young woman, who apparently couldn't make it as an actual licensed pilot because they don't like the way her vision is, even though she had surgeries to make it near perfect, like, back to near normal because she had like a little issue. But like, no, we can't do that. So she's their pilot. Thea is an intern, a girl from an orphanage that was told that she would never amount to anything, and she's like, screw you, I'm going to prove it, and she is an intern for Dr. Tarlow, a very well-respected scientist. Okay, so like I said, we start off in a different planet, there's a blizzard coming, so everyone has to evac and everything, but then, everyone that gets on this little ship called the Odyssey, they kind of get screwed over because they find out that the company that they're working for, Hevet's company, I believe that's what it's called, says, oh yeah, we need y'all to check out something for us that's, like, kind of probably off the books. No, thank you. So we have Sullivan, who is Nova's cousin, the one that kind of pushed her resume to get noticed so she can actually start piloting, because she wants to, if she proves herself worthy on this job, she might get picked up full-time. And yeah, I think he's an engineer, so that's kind of important for the crew members. We got Dr. Tarlow as well, so we got doctor/medic, we got an intern. Now we have Toby, a guy that I just wanted he's the tech guy, with everything that's all futuristic and electronic, we will need him, but he just needs to shut his mouth. Then we have Cleaver, who's basically the protection detail. I liked him. He didn't really get into everyone's like political argument crap when they were at the dinner table. He was like, "Can you pass the potatoes? Hey, are you gonna move those? Can I have the potatoes, please?" Ugh, I know, getting myself. Yeah, I liked him. He knew how to do his job. He didn't get pulled into all this political crap that, Toby was theorizing all the time and Nova was always challenging and everything. I liked him. Then we have Dylan, the captain of this whole scenario. This whole book was because of Dylan. So yeah, Dylan is the captain. She's very young in her position. A lot of people don't like her because they know her daddy is up there in Heaven's company command and everything. Like, oh, she got this job because of her daddy. So she's always trying to prove herself, showing that I earned this position myself, thus making a bunch of wrong calls, thus making my anxiety rise, people, very much. So yeah, they get this call from Heaven's company saying, "Hey, we need you to go check out this place. It's on the Keels. I think that's how you pronounce it," and everything. And the crew's like, "Wait a second, isn't that like Witch Hazel?" So apparently, this planet was, being looked at for drilling and everything because they have this great mineral or whatever resource that's very rare, it's very valuable, and these other planets want it and everything, so selling and everything. Well, Dr. Harlow has a history saying, because she was there when she was a little child, she's now like 60 or so, and like everyone died except for her child that survived, and now she is Heaven's #1 doctor scientist. Even though she has a tremor, they still value her a lot, thus giving her an intern. Now, if you have a doctor saying that this company that always goes to her for advice, seeing if it's okay to drill here, and they didn't go to her, meaning this was off the books, and if she says that, they would have came to me, but they didn't, we should be careful, you should listen to her. And if you have the other members of your team saying, maybe we should wait, but your captain's like, no, we're going to go to cryostasis for 2 months, we're going to be there and everything, and then we're going to see if we can do the search and rescue, you already know we're off to a bad start. Even worse when we wake up 2 months later and we're outside of the planet space, whatever you want to call it, we find out that there's an SOS and that another search and rescue party's on its way, but your captain still says, let's go and see if there's any survivors and then we'll wait. And who hasn't even radioed in with the company yet? So you can see why this kind of reminds me a little bit of Alien Covenant at the very beginning, because you get the captain making the wrong choice. For this whole freaking book. Now, I said that we haven't met Cohen yet or anything, but what I liked about this book very much that just grabbed my attention was that you have chapters that are italicized, meaning we're getting someone else's point of view, making it very separate in a way, because we go, that space between paragraphs. Either way, we start out with Cohen, who we don't know, we just know as the boy, right? The kid. He's in the air vents and everything, and it's freaking crazy, because this kid has been on this planet for 2 months alone with trying to survive. And it's basically so intense. His chapters are like, oh my god, if this book was just about Cohen, this would be freaking amazing. So yeah, basically Cohen's been doing all these things like turning off the power source and everything, and we find out that the Odyssey is here. He doesn't know if he can trust them, you know what I mean? So we got a whole lot of mistrust going around in this book. We do find a bunch of dead bodies, and everyone's freaking out, trying to know what's going on and everything. And we finally get to the med bay and everything, and we're charging up stuff. We're trying to see what's on the tablets and everything. Only problem is we find the body, I think it was like the top engineer, written out in blood saying, "Don't trust the boy." That already puts doubt in Dylan's mind, especially when they meet Cohen. Our first encounter with an infected is because of Dylan. Miss, let's split up and conquer more area. And then she's like, okay, we'll go to the drilling site where all of this happened. We'll leave the dock and with, I think, Sullivan, and then we're going to go see where the drill site is. That's like miles outside with high winds. We have a planet where one side is too scorched, the other one is freezing cold, and you just have a thin little sliver, that might not, be that harmful for people, but you still got high winds, and you want to go. Oh, did I forget to mention we have 10 hours of oxygen in our suits? So basically that gives you a timeline how fast this book goes. And you still want to split up from the group. I hate Dylan so much. So yeah, we get to the drill site and everything. We're looking for still survivors. And we find a ravine full of bodies, and people are confused. Like, did someone drag them all the way out here, or did they do them themselves? What's going on? Considering how none of the bodies have spacesuits on, they're all wearing their nightgown outfits, and that's kind of weird. I found that very weird. So Toby lowers himself down into the pit of bodies, just like a smart person would do. Smart person is Sullivan that keeps saying, we should wait. No one listens to the voice of reason. Why? Don't y'all want to survive this? Either way, Toby goes down to the pit of bodies, tries to haul one up, and then he gets pulled under. And then they manage to pull him back up with finger tears in his leg through his suit, which apparently is very difficult to cut. So we have infection number 1. And they take him back to the med bay after they lose Thea in the storm. Yeah, I wouldn't even be in this situation. Either way, Cohen, he saves Thea because she actually makes it back to the Witch Hazel bunker, but she accidentally electrocutes herself, so he does knock him out. He's trying to gain her trust because, and really, he pretended to be almost Leslie, a guy who was a driller, but he took his identity after he found the guy's dead body after ODing on something, and he was trying to do it for the money for his family and everything, and he's saying, yeah, basically I've been traveling through the vents, scavenging food. The infected basically took themselves to the river and have been hibernating ever since. This guy has more info on the situation that's going on, so I don't care what that blood warning was. I'm going to trust the person with the most experience on this planet up to date. As for Dylan and her stupid ass and her stupid rules and everyone that's still following her stupid ass, they take Toby, who's infected, back. Well, they don't know he's infected. They take him back to Medbay, back on Celestial Envoy. That's the ship. If I forgot to mention that. And, Dr. Charlo's giving out orders and everything. But this guy has a nosebleed. His eyes are hemorrhaging. And he's starting to get little twitches. Thus entering World War C into space, people. That's just bad. And considering that Cohen manages to get Thea back to Celestial Envoy, and Dylan's all like, "Is that the kid?" And she's Thea's like, "I did, Dylan," and she's like, "Get into," and she's like pointing a gun at him, a shotgun, and shock, not a shotgun, but shock. Because apparently this company has a thing about not doing harm to people. We really needed bullets on this one. Either way, she and Nova basically electrocute the poor guy into an isolation chamber, and while Toby's thrashing around on the bed, Cohen is in the isolation chamber basically saying, "We need to go now." But you know what Dylan does? You know what this smart woman does? She puts Cohen on mute. Now, this is where we also get the other side character point of views, because other point of views are also with, the infected. Oh. Toby becomes a point of view when he's infected, and that just freaked me out, people. I enjoyed Cohen's and Toby's point of views a whole lot. I mean, Nova and Thea's were very enjoyable as well, but they also kind of got too much into their heads, like overthinking things and just like reminisce, like, basically thinking about their past and everything, how much they didn't like the world, how the world treated them like that. It's like, okay, we got that, like the first few chapters. Can we fast forward just a bit? But oh my god, being inside an infected mind like that was freaky, and I loved it so much. Now, of course, apparently the infected, when they're first infected, they still keep their mentality, meaning they remember how to operate things. They're slightly more clever. They're very strong. Right? As time goes by, then they start getting shuffling, but there's a lot of them. And now, thanks to the fact that, Toby got free, Scratch, the one person who was the voice of reason, Sullivan, and now Sullivan is infected. I'm like, no! Then Dylan finally puts Cohen on voice, and he's basically saying, oh yeah, because the other infected know that you're here, they'll be making their way here. World War Z in space, people, because it just goes bad to worse in every situation because of Dylan. She makes all these stupid decisions. I mean, Dr. Tarlo's saying she wants to stay here to run tests to see if there's a way how to cure, because we find out that everything's passed by blood. Like the infected, they're always scratching themselves like that, and they're trying to scratch you. It's through blood, so yeah, scratch with their blood on you and you get infected. And I also think if you just get touched by their blood, you're infected, but because they're wearing suits, the infected are trying to scratch your face out. But no, Dylan decides to abandon Tarlo and Thea when they decide, no, we need to run some tests. And Cohen's still chilling in the isolation chamber. Toby and infected Sullivan are in another isolation chamber that's being sedated. And so Dylan takes Nova and Cleaver back to Odyssey to finally call in after they've been telling her for how many hours? And they get to tell the other rescue and search team and try to get off this planet. It's just, oh my god. And what freaked me out even more is when I thought we lost Tarlo. I mean, they went into the isolation chamber, but they forgot that, the sedative is going out into the other ship, into the ship and everything. And they're starting to wake up. Oh my god. You can tell this book was stressing me out a lot. It just gets bad from there. I mean, Cohen manages to convince Thea to take a flying leap into the darkness, and they manage to get to Odyssey after leaving Tarlo for dead, which I honestly thought she was dead, but apparently she wasn't. The ship's not going anywhere because the legs is stuck in the earth. Cleaver tries to dig it out, and his legs get crushed. Toby and his little smart zombie self manages to find Odyssey and attack him, along with Sullivan, which plays a lot on Nova's psyche, considering she's the one that killed him. And they're trying to escape back to Celestial Envoy when they see that Odyssey is a lost cause. Oh, by the way, did I forget to mention that all the wires have been torn out, thanks to Cohen, because, he didn't trust them. He thought they were working for the company on their payroll and everything. Oh, and, the other reason why I like Toby's point of view is because the infected managed to pull Cleaver and Cohen off of a rover while they're trying to hightail it back to Celestial Envoy. And Toby, the infected, who's still super smart, is just lying there pretending to play dead because he said the monster is out there. That's Cohen going Incredible Hulk on these infected with a pickaxe and a homemade knife. And he's going with cha, 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 cha. And Toby's like, I guess that was the first indicator for me that Cohen was infected. But that's kind of weird considering he's been alive for 2 months and everything. Oh, and we find out that Dr. Tyler's still alive. And because Cohen, who wanted to gain Thea's trust, showed her a tab that was recorded back to Witch Hazel's time, we find out that Dr. Tarlo is actually infected. But this reminded me a whole lot of Venom and the other monsters like Venom that are trying to merge with humans, like, what was it called? Symbiosis. That's what was going on. This infection that came from the water that apparently is on Achilles, and there's actual seaweed growing, it's like a bacteria and everything on it. And it's also like, it's in the water basically. And so when Dr. Tarlo was a child, she fell into this water without her helmet. So she basically ingested all this and she became infected. She's completely fine. Matter of fact, her aging is kind of slowed down a little. She barely has any wrinkles or anything. She's never gotten sick or anything. Basically, This thing is just looking for a suitable host. And we eventually theorized that because maybe Tarla was a child, she's still growing up, her body's still maturing, adapting, makes people young, going through adolescence, a perfect fit. I mean, because apparently when Thea basically challenges Cohen on this, she basically shocks him with a shock rod, and he doesn't really go like, he basically was like, ow! Find out he's 17, so he's still maturing, people. He barely reached that line. He has sharpened vision. He has, like, basically very strong strength. He has healing, just like Dr. Tarlo. And basically, he's a super soldier. And Toby is right. He refers to him as a monster, a boy monster. Because he kind of, like, switches that emotion off when he has to go into fight mode. So let's add another thing to Dylan's worst choices ever. Because we found out that Dr. Tarlo's infected. She's like, are you infected? And Tarlo's like, yes, and then Dylan shoots her. First of all, you shot your only medic. And you shot someone that probably has, like, DNA that we could use to probably find a cure. Dylan, just go ahead and die. I won't care anymore because I just don't. You killed off all of the crew, basically, because of your stupid decisions. Basically, Thea figures this out because of Dr. Tarlo's research that she was trying to destroy as well. Cohen figures out that he's really infected. He never thought about it until, like, apparently Dr. Tarlo can use, telepathy with Cohen, meaning that they're both infected, but they have communication. And when Thea wants to leave Cohen on the planet, he's like, fine, then you're going to stay here too. And she's like, why? Mouth to mouth, remember? I'm like, oh, Thea could be infected. So basically, we have like a whole, we have a countdown of the final few, like in the last half of the chapters, people. Because Thea and Cohen, figuring that they can't let anyone find this out, they set a self-destruct on Celestial Envoy. They gotta get to the escape pod in the commander's office, which was apparently Dylan's dad's place. And that's all the reason why she's making all these bad decisions, to find her daddy, who's already been infected for how long? 2 months with a missing eye? So, oh my god. Toby, you are one crazy, smart, persistent son of a bitch, because he just goes after Cohen and Thea, while the other infected chase Dylan and Nova, while Dylan has, like, she does have a scratch, but she's not showing any symptoms, and she has a crushed ankle. Oops. And oh my god. Basically, the end of this book, we do make it off planet. Thank you, Lord. And at first, Thea and Cohen are theorizing that maybe Dylan was still young enough because she's not showing any signs. But the bitch starts getting the nosebleed and starts twitching. So she basically airlocks herself out and go, bye. So I was ready to end this book on a happy note with them just trapped waiting for the SOS to be received by the other search and rescue, and that be the end of it. Nova's in cryo sleep. She needs a break. And Thea and Cohen are just chilling in the front when their signal gets picked up. I already knew this was bad when they got answered. I already knew. Did anyone else already know that this was a bad idea when they got answered? Because they get hailed, they get pulled into the other ship, and then they get smoked. The captain of this ship basically takes out the electronics in Nova's sleep chamber. Now she's in a freaking coma. We find out Thea is infected, and we find out that, this company wants to be, who's supplying Trios, this planet who's in the cradle system, or whatever you want to call it, they want their independence, and now they have means to an end, because apparently when they initiated the self-destruct, all that info that Thea and Cohen got rid of was automatically uploaded, saved, and sent to, like, higher superiors and stuff, and they watched everything that happened. Oh my god! So now they have Thea, who's infected, but who has that symbiosis thing, so meaning she's like Cohen. They're going to be test subjects. We have no clue what's going to happen to Nova. We're gonna have probably a terrible civil war going on. And now Thea and Cohen are communicating with each other through telekinesis, and it ends with Thea saying, "I have a plan." In this book. So yeah, that was Contagion by Aaron Bowman. Give this a 4 out of 5 stars. World War Z in space at the end, the Alien franchise at the beginning, the captain making all these stupid decisions. We're gonna have major issues in the next book. And do I have can my heart stand another anxiety attack like this? It was good. There are times where I did skim past, some things and everything, like, hurry up. I found the point of views through Cohen and Toby's perspective very, very interesting. Thea and Nova, I like them. They have their flaws, but they just kind of kept thinking too much, I would say, especially thinking of how they're trying to prove themselves to society. I'm like, okay, girls, yeah, we get it. Dylan made all these stupid choices. She deserved to die in the very first round. Everyone deserved to live. And now we just gotta deal with Heaven's company that's known all of this crap from the very beginning. They had their suspicions, but now they have their confirmed. We're gonna have like intergalactic civil war going on, and we're probably gonna have a whole lot more infected if things don't go as planned. So yeah, Contagion by Aaron Bowman, 4 out of 5 stars. World War Z and space people, that I would recommend. My name is Sarah, and bye!